for me. Wait a minute, Ursula. I'll call you up. I've been in the ministry for 29 years, going on 30 years. But I'm going to take my time to get this right. I'm going to try to be as clear as possible. And those of you guys that might have been or might be in my age bracket, I've sat in the pulpits with C.O. Franklin. Sat in the pulpits with Jim Holly. Sat in the pulpits of the Reverend Charles Nix Jr. Sat in the pulpit with James Allen Caldwell. I sat in the pulpits of some of the past known pastors of this church of yesterdays, of this religious rite of yesterday. And everywhere I went, I served diligently. Served diligently on the 16-year, somewhere around 16 years. Then I spent 7 years. If you want to look at it as bad years, but I just spent 7 years. And if you want to speak in biblical terms, going through a barren land. A barren land. Then when I came to, like the prodigal son, when I came to, I came to at a place on Plymouth and Greenfield. Most of you have heard this story before, but I'm privileged to keep telling it because I keep feeling it and I keep living it. Came to this small building at TLC with this female preacher. From the great rim of preacherism that I come from, it was a male thing. From the fraternity that I got ordained in, it was a masculine men thing. From the regime that I come up in, it was us against them. Some guys of the cloth might not like me saying this, but I've learned transformation comes through transparency. Women had their place. This wasn't it. So quite naturally, I come curious to this woman's cult, to this women's movement, that somehow after almost 20 years of my life, that I couldn't get my wife to sit beside me in. Something had got her attention, being the dominant male-age chauvinistical mentality guy that I was. Let me go see what they telling my wife. I'm not going to go in there and let them know that I'm a preacher. Because I want to sit back and hear what they got to say. This part you haven't heard yet. It was a message that in my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, and I go to prepare a place for you, so where I am, ye may be also. particular time, I was hiding with Tanisha under the shame and guilt of active drug addiction. During the struggles and the hierarchies of the churches that I was belonging to, the churches that I had the opportunity to get the prime time to line you guys up in the $100 line, the $50 line, and the $20 line. Good at it. But since that known so-called affliction instead of a correction, which I see, was taking place, couldn't hold my head up there. Couldn't hold my seat. Didn't have the audacity to put me out. But they made you feel shame in such a way that you didn't want to go. There was something about in my Father's house that there was a place for me. And the way it touched me over there in Plymouth and Greenfield, this is where the transparency comes from. No matter, let me go a little farther. Not only was it a room, gotta go here, I gotta go. Not only was it not room for me as a recovering or an active dope fiend, there wasn't room with people with different sexual preferences. Come on now, there wasn't room for people who might be suffering from HIV or AIDS back in the time. You had to go to, you were ostracized. But when I got the message that no matter where I am, where I've been, or where I'm going, there's a place for me, I got better good for the Lord. Then they're going to get her. They're going to get her. I knew somewhat of the scriptures. But where I come from, you had to follow the script. When I come up in here to find out that I didn't have to follow the script, that I can live in the church. I can be who I needed to be when I needed to be there. I can say what I needed to say when I needed to say that. And then some of the scriptures, according to the principles, made too much sense. So when I came there speculating, I was really getting regulated. That's my story for transforming love. That's what, and when I finally, when the lights finally came on, I knew I was in the right place. That's only half of it. And this is the other half, because it's not all about me. I thank God that God has allowed me to get to know somewhat Shaheerah Stevens. And I know some things like I don't know. We have a lot of conversations. She brings some things to me, and be very clear on this. I take everything to her. So be very clear. And in that exchange, you will be surprised at some of the things you get. Some of the things that I know that in other places will get you exposed, expelled, put out. Those who have ears, let them hear. Things that will get you put out, ostracized. I saw and I experienced it. Take it. Take it. Take it. And come in here Sunday after Sunday like ain't nothing happened. The only reason that I know the difference is because of my experience. Because if you did something to the traditional pastor, I'm going to give you, the deacons and deaconess will get you.
That's right, yes.
Oh, y'all act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I have seen her over it, and I've heard things. I have been in disrespectful situations. Just outright wrong things said and done. You hear me? There's things you don't know. But when you got a person, this is what gets me so involved. When I can see a person living. Even for me, sometimes I don't feel like getting up, putting on these principles. And walking. Sometimes I can walk up to somebody, I would say, you catch me in that moment, but this is what I'm being taught how to take it and still stay on purpose. And when I see a person take it and stay on purpose, I get to see the blessings. That's what makes me very clear. TLC, you need to know what you got here. You need to know what you got here. Okay? And I'm saying it's going on for 10 years for me. You might want to take a look at that. That's why TLC is such a unique place to be. I am so clear that transformation takes place through transparency. It's okay to be who you are, how you are. As long as you don't continue to get in the way and know that you're on your way. As long as you're not confused that matter doesn't matter. Are you clear?